Okay, I think I am live right now. So, comment ça va, mes amis? I'm trying to figure out how to turn off this music. And welcome to. Ba- and I got to figure out how to turn off that background sound I got. All right, there we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. Welcome in, folks. Welcome in. This is BGG's Hangout with the Bayou. Unfortunately, Dagan could not make it to tonight. And so I'm doing it on my own channel. And so, yeah, Dagan has inventory at his store tonight. But the show must go on, as they say. And tonight, I'm bringing in a guest, a real good friend of mine, and he also a internationally renowned tattoo artist, a man by the name of Adam Shade Carpenter. And without further ado, let's bring him in as soon as I can figure out how. Man, I don't know how Dagan does this. I'm usually the only one who I don't have to do much work. And let's see. And here we go with Shade. Man, how you doing, my friend?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Oh, it's been a wild ride, man. Already becoming a wild ride, but
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna get the hang of it.
Now you'd
And
get that.
oh, and now my cat is scratching. He wants out, of course, when I'm live. But we got some folks in the audience we want to say hello to. As soon as I can find the screen that they was on
I can see him.
to see who was
Dana,
first.
IG.
Yeah, Twitch was first, and then Joshua Ricks, and then let's see. We also got I don't know
G. Lou. And he's
who's
talking about
Saya
being
Diakite. And yeah, thanks a lot, Gary. Yeah, so nice to have such a good friend there. And TV, what's going on, TV? Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, Wendy, how are you, hon?
Don't know how interesting our content will be tonight. Won't be interesting on my end. If there's anything interesting that happens, it's going to be Shade.
Depends on the questions that you ask.
Well, I don't actually have any questions that I prearranged to ask, and obviously I haven't messed with Restream in a while. I haven't done anything very much live besides doing this live stream with Dagan.
Right.
I haven't done anything live in a while, so I'm relearning everything all over again. But I'm trying to get adjusted to it because I hope to do a weekly live stream. And well,
Hey,
hey,
Brother Hawk, how you doing, brother? I hope you have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping in, bro. That's my brother, man. We go back years.
all right. Well, this is what I have to say to everybody.
Howdy, partner.
And Mike V. Oh, Dagan popped in. Well, thank you, Dagan. Glad that you hopped on. Yeah. Working man. He's the hardest working man in the beard community. He's already working it on that app he sent me, Flip app, and then he's working his real job. Yeah, Dagan displaying it. You know, you might be right, Gary. He's out at the tracks winning some money, and he's probably drinking coffee too while he's there.
A few things new's coming, man.
Oh, and there's my beautiful wife, as always, supporting me.
Oh, yeah.
You lucky she supports you.
Yeah, well, somebody has to.
Probably she ain't knocked you out yet, man.
And Saya, I'm assuming you know Saya, but welcome. Thanks for joining. Hope y'all enjoy our rather small presentation, but we do have a presentation for you. We're going to show you some things. And first off, we're going to start off with how and when did you get started tattooing, Shade?
I got my apprenticeship in 1990, and it was really hell to get, man. Back then, it was nothing like it is today. You really had to be persistent. So I lived with my mom at the time, and I got the city bus to go several towns down the road. And I go into this tattoo shop, and they were like, "How old are you, kid?" And every time they tell me, "Man, get the fuck out of here," I was like, "That gone." So I keep coming back every day, And so I pestered these dudes for 6 months. So they finally stopped throwing me out. So they let me just sit around. And that's how it kind of started, It's like, well, if you go do something, you need a daggone clean the floor. The next thing you know, I was learning how to scrub tubes that we all used back then. Some people still use them. I use disposable stuff now, but then I learned how to make needles and therefore, and it was 2 years of torture and hell, But I loved it. I loved every bit about it. And if that still existed today, we wouldn't have a mass saturation of skinny jean wearing people that can't even use a coil machine.
Yep. That was back when only outlaws had tattoos.
Man, you'd be surprised. Women was big clientele. Man, a lot of nurses, judges, they just kept them under their clothes, It wasn't openly exposed like today.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like how I am. I have 3 tattoos, although one of them is covering up another one. But my tattoos are mine. That I got them because that's what I wanted. Now, if I'm wanting to show you, I'll show you my tattoos. But otherwise, they're covered up, and I'm not going to even tell you where they are. I'm just tell you that they're covered up because that's my deal. I didn't get them to show off or anything or whatnot. It's something that I wanted, and I'm not done yet. There's still a few more. Well, one more tat specifically. One more. I want to do a full back piece, and that will have to wait until number 1. I figure out what I want, and then number 2, Shade to get over here to do it, or me to come up there.
Yeah, I'm going to West Virginia, man. I miss my home. As soon as my son graduates, I'm going back. Plus, I got a brother in need up there right now, man, and I need to get back, close by there anyway.
Yeah. So, let's see. No, Gary, it's not on my butt. It's on my shoulder and on this arm. But yeah. So you've been tattooing since 1990?
I got my 1991 full time. Yeah. I mean, I did do a little bit of tattoos during my apprenticeship, but that took it was a long task to do. to do a tattoo, then you had to prove to your mentor that you could build a needle that would work, build a whole tattoo machine and tune it. Um, there was a lot to it back then, you know. There weren't these little rotary pins that people tattoo with today. Um, so it was a lot of things. I mean, you know, back then that's when it was kind of like it was magical. You know, it was something special. Today it kind of lost that. People don't have no, it don't have no soul in it anymore. It does to me, but I mean to the main population, it's just that tattoos today is kind of got watered down and ruined something that once was beautiful.
Yeah, well, you know, people are kind of decorating and just wanted to show off. But, you know, truth be told, the first tattoo you get, does it hurt? Yeah. After it's done, what's the first thing you say? Damn, I want another one. Tattoos
Well,
are like neck surgery and back surgery. You get one, you just can't stop.
I just like Roadhawk said there. He just like, you know, all your tattoos should say something about you or tell a story or things that you've been through. Or sometimes if the image that you see back in the day on the wall was cool and it reminded you of something, that was fine too, you know.
Okay, now, Mrs. Bayou would like to know what's the weirdest tattoo you've done?
Oh my gosh. I get that question a lot. Uh, I've done a lot of strange stuff. Anymore, I could tell you, well, it's probably a little too PG for me to tell that story about what somebody asked me to do for them one time. Um, but I really don't know. I've done some strange stuff. People ask to get like feces tattooed on them with flies and stuff going around it and strange things. But man, I didn't get into doing that stuff too much, you know. Um,
That's a little cray cray.
and you'd be surprised there's some nuts out there.
Well, I know. My wife lives with one. She married one.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Jeffrey says, my dad gave himself a needlepoint tattoo of a 3D cross on his upper arm when he was young, light blue ink. That's pretty
Yeah,
interesting. A 3D. Your dad must be a pretty damn good artist because
of course. Of
tattooing
course.
isn't just poking people.
Well, back then, man, I mean, you know, my very first tattoo was 11 years old and it was hand poked in. I mean, it's covered now. I mean, through all this, but I mean, yeah, I got a bottle of Higgins and just started, you know, because I wanted one so bad and eh, it looked like crap.
Garrett's saying, weirdest one
What's
he
wrong with
did
my
on his
hand?
hand.
Weirdo.
Yeah. Yeah. I got the way I got into tattoos and my tattoos, I was back, that's about still when I was truck driving. And my best friend decided he wanted to become a tattoo artist. And he got a gun. And
Tattoo machine.
yeah, that's what he got. And the lady that I was seeing at the time, she and I went over. And he just charged us for the supplies. And he tattooed us. So to practice, you know? And that's how I got started. And then that was the bull that I got on my shoulder. And then he did the Constantine wire around my arm. That was an interesting one because didn't realize how sensitive it is under the arm. But I met up several years later with sorry, I'm looking at the comments on the other on TikTok. I met up with a friend of mine from way back. Was working at a tattoo shop here in town. So we went to see him, and I asked him about cover-ups because he said, man, he saw that the bull, and he's like, man, let me cover that up for you. I said, well, what you got? He says, I'll do you a bull that looks a whole lot better, because that looks like a freaking cartoon. And it did. It kind of looked like the Chicago Bulls mascot, the
Right.
little cartoony bull. It kind of looked like that. So Rocky did it. I mean, did an amazing tat for me. It's getting a little faded because, hell, that was probably over 20 years ago, maybe more. But yeah, he did me a great job. And he also tattooed my son and my daughter. We did a whole family affair.
Yeah, that makes me feel old. When I used to tattoo my friends, when I was young, and now I'm tattooing their kids, and I said, "Daggone, that makes you feel old,"
Yeah. Somebody's on TikTok was asking me if I still lived in Washington. I don't know who it is. Washington misses you, sir. I don't know who that is, but Washington doesn't miss me. But
I had a lot
yeah,
of people too, Jeffrey. They're all gone though.
you covered them all up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, tattooing has come a long way from back then. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how all the things that have changed over the years? Because I'm sure it's a lot different than the jailhouse tattooing with an ink pen and a needle and
Well, I mean,
dipping in ink.
really, the prison style is what kind of, and Jack Rudy and Freddie Negretti, they took that style and turned it into a professional style, in the 70s. Then they were like the godfathers for that. Then they took it, and it's just kind of got better and better as times went on. I don't think the artwork is better today as it was when I started. It was just you got a lot more people doing it. There were some great artists that was doing everything that you could see today. Um, it's just there's way when I first started tattooing, there was two tattoo shops in the whole state when I was in, and they were at least 3.5 hours away. They
Wow.
weren't that many tattoo artists in. There was probably 300 in the whole United States, and then now, I mean, like Charlotte's got over 300 by itself, so it's totally changed. Yeah, I have too, Roadhawk. Absolutely. I mean, I've seen a beautiful back piece. It looked like it came out of a studio that was done in prison. But I mean, tattoo artists end up in prison sometimes, and they're pretty good in inventing things. Um,
Yep.
but I mean, I wouldn't say anything has gotten better. The only thing that's gotten better was, and I do believe that every tattoo artist should know how to do them. You'd be surprised. There's more tattoo artists out there now, or which, if you want to call them that. I only agree they should get that title if they're a master tattoo artist. Only thing that's changed is I don't have to sit there and smell flux on my days off and solder and making needles, um, for the week to tattoo, because we used to have to take every individual needle and put them together, put them in the leg, jot them, and solder them and flux them and then stick them on a needle bar and throw them in an autoclave. And we used those for the week. And once your week was over, you had to make them again. But now what's nice about them is there's some company makes a good needle that you can buy pre-made, sterilized, so you don't have to mess with that anymore. I do believe that anybody that's taught today should know how to do that. What happens if it goes completely illegal in every state? It could. You have to go back underground. I mean, look at South Carolina. They just went. First year in business was 2006. I mean, because they were shut down in the 60s.
Wow. Didn't know that.
Oh yeah, Oklahoma it was illegal in. Yeah, Massachusetts, New York City, there were several places. What are you going to do if you don't know how to daggone? You can't get supplies in states like that if they were still illegal. So you better have to make them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's interesting. Now, would you say that there's more artistry today than when you started, or when you started was the artistry better then?
I think it was just as good. Um, you just see more of it today because um, when I started tattooing, there wasn't internet. Um, you wanted a reference. Good thing the library was a block down the street because that's what you had to do to get your daggone reference. If you never heard of something, you're like, I don't know what that is. So I'd have to go check out a book and look for it forever to find a book and look at it. And I was like, all right, check the sucker out and do a drawing from it, make sure you done it justice. Then, but now there's social media everywhere. So therefore, the only way you'd see these tattoos were in tattoo magazines. There were some that was just good, and there were some that was really amazing. Jack Rudy was one of the best portrait artists. Freddie Negretti, Mark Mahoney. Gil Monty was really famous for his skulls. There were so many great artists. Sean Anderson was still badass today after all these years of Japanese tattooing, and I could go even farther back than that. Even you know, Sailor Jerry, which everybody knows because everybody sees his artwork on these spiced rum posters I see all the time. But that was his designs. But a lot of people don't realize he intentionally messed them up to see if you would find the flaw and fix it during your tattoo.
Huh.
So I think the only reason it's a lot more accessible today is because now you can see artists from all over the world, which was harder to do before. You saw them in magazines, but it wasn't as accessible as it is today because we got social media and internet by the click of everything. There's a computer in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't
Like
have
right now, we're hundreds of miles apart, yet we're talking like we're sitting next to each other.
exactly. So there's a lot of things I disagree with today. And I'm not knocking anybody who does it because it doesn't make them less talented. But we were doing full colored portraits back in the day, flesh tones and all that stuff. It's not. It was been done and tried. This thing is out there. Everybody says all the pigments are better. Yeah, that's true. But still, the OG guys are still using powders, and there's nothing wrong with them. And they're also not getting no recalls on them about causing cancer and trying to ban blues and reds like they are in Europe. And now that's also coming here. The powders don't have that problem. It's the dispersions, and they last. I got a piece on my leg that was done in 1992. Looks like it was done last month.
Wow.
It's a huge piece, but it just stays bright. I just don't like to. I don't get no sun. I'm one of those guys that wears long sleeves when I ride my bike, or I'll find the highest sunblock I can. I just don't. I'm so heavily tattooed. If I don't put sunblock on, if I take my shirt off, I could feel the sun actually cook my tattoos. I could feel it cooking my skin, from the pigmentation in it. I'm like, So
Smoky. My cat is getting restless over here. So, wasn't there like old hammer tattooing made maybe
well,
from Indians? I know
no,
nothing because I have no tattoos.
it was from Borneo actually. That's and New Zealand at the time. They made a sound. It was another stick tapping another stick was a set of bones that made needles in it, and they made a rhythm that goes tap 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 two. That was the rhythm, and that's how they did it. That's how the name tattoo came.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh
Now I
yes,
do
yes,
have.
they were. Oh yeah, they were more freestyle back in the day. There's freestyle today. A lot of still.
Uh,
Um,
I haven't seen a whole lot of freestyle. Not that I have very much experience in the tattoo world, but uh, I've seen a lot of trace something out of a magazine or a book and then stick it on you and poke you.
Yeah, those are what I call tattooists or technical tattooists. You know, there's a difference between tattooists. I could teach anybody how to tattoo if they're eager enough to learn. I could teach them how to make a clean line, a stencil, and clean, decent shading, and make it look like the design that they're after. That's a technical aspect. But if you hand them a daggone skin scribe and say, "Here, draw this flat out on the skin," are they going to be able to do it? No. But those are two different kinds of what I call there's tattooist and there's tattoo artist. You know. Then here in the last 15 years, this tattooer thing came out. You know, I never even heard of that till about the last 15 years ago. Well, I'm a tattooer. Tattooer, where'd that word come from? That's something new. You know.
It is interesting how we keep recreating the English language.
Yeah.
All right, now I've got some photographs of some of Shade's artwork that I'm gonna share with everybody. As soon as I figure out how, I'm pushing buttons, and we're gonna find out now. Do. Window. We want a window. That's the window we're gonna share. Okay, now tell us a little bit about this tattoo, Shade.
Um, that gentleman, he grew up in Puerto Rico, and he just wanted something that reminded him of home, is what I can remember on that piece. And he gave me a photograph, and I just kind of drew it out and on his skin and just tattooed it.
That is some amazing artwork. And let's see the next one. Oh, that's some serious artwork there.
Yeah, that's just freehand drawing it right to the skin and tattooing.
Oh, wow. And then that.
Yes, that is part of the sleeve that's going on right now. It's really cool. Um, that's a bear skull if you look at it, you know, with the teeth going underneath. But yeah, I've had a good time doing that one.
All right. And let's see then what's next.
That is a gentleman that owns a Greek restaurant um, down the road. Part of it's a cover up. You see the Greek key going around the top of the lion. And
Yeah.
yeah, there's a cover up right here in the main and back there on the shoulder where I did that church window effect. And but it covered up nice, and that's a healed photo, so you don't see the old tattoo.
That's very, very good. Let's see. Oh, wait. Let me. That way, maybe we can see it a little better. I full screened it. I don't know.
That's a
And then
cover
now
up.
that.
Yeah, that's a cover up. She had this very bad job of this cartoony like Ozzy Osbourne. It said it, you know, and on there, and I just covered it up with that piece.
That's very intricate. That looks damn good.
That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the skull part of it. That dude was a tough dude, man. I worked on him for like I think 14 hours straight, and he
Cool.
and by the time I was done with him, I mean my back was suffering, and I'm sure he didn't feel the greatest either. But it was a fun
You probably
tattoo.
couldn't feel anything by that point.
Oh no, no, he felt it. Trust me. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I did a twist of a photograph that he gave me of his fiance, and I'm like, "Are you sure you want me to put your fiance on you?" So I did a twist and changed her eyes a little bit and turned her into a vampire. So I was that way. If you know it don't work out, you can't. She don't look exactly the same.
Now
Yeah,
that looks cool.
yeah. I just added a little touch of color in the eye. Was just a basic black and gray work. It was a lot of fun.
Now that looks like it took a long time.
It wasn't too bad. I know exactly how many hours I got in that. I got exactly 44 hours into that piece. And
Good googly moogly.
oh, that's not terrible, but I mean, it could be worse. But
I can't imagine being under the needle for that long of a time. I know you did it in sessions, but still.
yeah, I did it in 4 sessions.
Yeah, that's 11 hours a session. No, that's a little too much for me.
Yeah, I can't work those long sessions anymore. My back is shot. I got to have a surgery on it soon.
Yeah, like Jeffrey said, holy mother of ink. I have to agree with you on that, Jeffrey.
Well, Jeffrey, where I come from, man, that's completely normal to see. Like if I go to like the beach or something, people's got their shirts off, and it takes me a minute to realize what's wrong with these people. Something's wrong with them. Oh, damn, they don't got no tattoos. Yeah.
Oh, well, tattoo people typically don't go to the beach, because we don't want our tattoos to fade anymore.
Yeah, that's the front part of that lion that I did.
All right.
I video most of my stuff. That was a portrait of a guy's dog he brought in, of a Frenchie bulldog.
That's too cool.
And that's part of that piece of that one I worked on all day, gone day. Well, it was almost going into the next morning. It was in the next morning. That was a piece I showed you a while ago. I said, man, that was a tough dude. That was him. That was his forearm.
Damn it. I think we've gone back around on the pictures.
No, there's some new ones. Yeah, the back one. Back.
Let me go back.
Yeah, that was a fun piece. I didn't want to show the whole tiger's face, so I just added some filigree behind it. And I finished that piece before. And I got the video. I think it's on TikTok. It might be on Instagram. I don't remember.
Very interesting. And then, of course, my wife is saying that I need a Heidi one. Heidi was my pit bull that best dog I've ever owned, best dog I've ever known, best dog I've ever seen, best of everything. She was a pit bull that we got. My wife got her for my birthday. And she was, of course, she was a house dog, never spent a single night outside. And I was a truck driver, so she was my trucking dog. She'd come along with me. And that dog went all over the country, got to sniff and pee and poo in places that most dogs would never even know about. And she lived to the ripe old age of a month shy of 17. And
Wow.
Pit bulls typically have an estimated life expectancy of approximately 8 to 12 years. So I think that was a testament to how pampered of a life she had, because she stayed that long, and she went peacefully in her sleep, sleeping right beside me in the bed.
Well, the big problem with dogs, I mean, she did live a good long life. Why dogs have a shorter lifespan a day is because the food that we feed them. They're not meant to eat kibble and things like that. It's not in their diet. If you want your dog to live a long time, give it organ meat, livers, kidneys, hearts, and they're gonna mix it with a little bit of meat and sweet potatoes, and throw a raw egg in there, crack it, from a farm fresh egg. Let them eat the shell and everything. They'll live a long time that way.
Yeah, most of the nutrients in dog foods get cooked out. So yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, I'm a big animal lover, man. Yeah, see, that's why we don't have a dog here. We lost my dog, and well, it was our dog, and we're going to get Jetty. I think we went through so many different breeds, but if I can get a Rottweiler that looks like a Rottweiler without a pug face, what they're breeding them to look like, if I can get a Rottweiler like they were, I'd get one of those, because they're really excellent for kids.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll do anything. Yeah,
Yep.
there's nothing wrong with that, as long as it's not, like French fries and things like that.
Oh, she loved French fries, but she wanted to taste a burger before she ate French fries.
Well, do you blame her? I'd like to go to the meet too.
Yeah, no
Me too,
doubt.
Jeffrey. Me too. Um, but I mean, I had Rottweilers growing up, on the farm, and I think they're great dogs. My dad was whipping me one time, and the dog came through the window and pinned him up against the wall. So he was like, and he was like, when he went to go, he goes, cut me a switch. He goes, where's that damn dog at? So I come home from school the next day, my dog was gone. And I'm like, I was always wondering if he shot him. I asked him not too long ago. He goes, no, I really traded him for a calf and a 22 Magnum. I'm like, yeah.
That was a pretty good deal.
No, it
But
wasn't for
yeah,
me. I didn't get no money out of the calf.
yeah, I know. But yeah, I've lived and raised pits all my life, and that's one of the things that I like about pits is they're great with kids, but the pits are so protective and uh, especially females. I found that's mainly what I've had is females because the males aren't very affectionate. The males are good, don't get me wrong, but the females are more affectionate and they're territorial. I know I could be asleep. This was back in my single life. I'd be asleep and my pit Chili would be sleeping next to me, and somebody come walking to my apartment. They were in a bind because she was going to tear my new ass.
Um, I've had Rottweilers mostly all my life. I did end up starting breeding pit bulls later. And then we had one. We had him trained completely in Czechoslovakian. And now he was an affectionate dog. Only bad thing about these new designer pit bulls, the blues and all these tricolors and stuff they're doing. Um, they're prone to brain tumors. A lot of people don't know that. And I was a big advocate for the breed. I took them everywhere to tattoo conventions and leave them with pin up pit bulls and booths, and everybody loved him. But man, if somebody didn't like, I mean, he would get down now. But yeah, I suffered a bad injury from that dog. I gave him a kiss one night. I was sitting up on the magazine. I gave him a kiss while on the couch. He was kissing me back. His face had his pretty gold eyes, and he jumped up on the couch beside me. I was reading the magazine. I rushed up and touched his head, and he growled at me. He's never growled at me before. I looked over and said, "What's the matter with you, man?" His eyes was completely gone. They were fogged over, no yellows you couldn't see, and his head was down all funky, man. And he attacked my thigh, and I fought with this dog, and he was my best friend, man. Then after I fell on the floor, then he went up and then he crushed my hand, and that's what I got. And so I had to do physical therapy for a year. They said I never tattoo again. After I went back to tattooing everybody else's, man, damn, I'd let a dog eat my hand if I could do the work you did. I was like, uh, but no,
Funny, but not funny.
well, I mean, you got to laugh about it, right? I don't
Yeah,
I don't blame the breed. I still love the breed. Um,
yeah,
it was just something that just happened. I don't hate the breed because of it. I just think people, if I knew what I knew now about, especially blues and tricolors and stuff, I I would have had his brain checked more often. That way I could have
yeah,
caught it. But see where it was. The vet said, "Well, I was in the hospital. It took 8 hours to put my hand back in surgery the first time, and I had my friend go get him. I mean, because I had to shoot him while he was dragging me across the floor." And the vet said, "Man, you wouldn't have caught that unless it was like 5 minutes before, and the only chance you'd had is to kill him because he was going to kill you or him." Um,
yeah.
but I just don't want to go through that trouble to worry about if my dog's going to flip out. But that could happen with any animal, really. But unfortunately, with these new designer pit bulls, that's the problem that risk. And I didn't even know that till the vet told me he sees it all the time, But I think they're a great. I think they're a great breed if they're bred properly. But the problem is we messed them up. They weren't no daggone blue pit bulls until in the 90s ever existed. We started introducing Napoleon Masters and stuff in them to get the color and different size,
Yeah. And Jeffrey says he goes to a friend's house and they say the animals don't like anyone. And the animals come up to me and start loving on me, and the owners are in shock. I have a way with animals, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I would be okay with that too.
Wendy, to answer your question, I love doing any style as long as I can make it beautiful. It doesn't really matter. I'm not one of those that has one style or another style. It's just where the era when I started tattooing is if you couldn't try to somewhat do it all, then you didn't gain that master tattoo artist mentality. That's where they got that stupid name Ink Master from. But yeah, as long as whatever you're into, hon, as long as I can make it beautiful, I'm cool with it,
And where all do you tattoo, Shade? You have a special location you frequent, or you have your own shop?
Yeah, I'll get reopen another one in Spitzer, West Virginia, because that's my hometown. And then I'm probably going to sell these here because I'm not coming back. That way I don't have to worry about it. And I only tattoo by appointment only. I got some problems with my back right now. I was at the neurosurgeon the other day, and I looked at the x-rays of my back. It looks like a crazy boomerang, and the bottom of my spine collapsed off each other. So I got to get that. The chemotherapy deteriorated part of my lower spine and caused that. So they're going to have to. But the good thing is when they fuse it, it ain't going to affect me bending over or anything because as low as it is,
So are you going to lose any height?
No, I'm 5'8".
Okay.
How tall are you?
Okay.
I'm short. I'm Irish. Yeah. Irish people don't get that tall. I mean, once in a while you'll see a one, but it's rare,
So how many shops do you have, and where are they located?
One's in Indian Trail, North Carolina. One is in Charlotte, North Carolina. One is in downtown Charleston, West Virginia. And the other one is in Kannapolis, North Carolina. But I'm making a deal right now to sell it to a guy that got a studio in Charleston because I don't want to deal with it. I'm getting ready to sell them out off. I'm going to open one shop in Spencer, and that's it. I don't want to worry about them anymore. I'm just at the point I'm just over it, man. I just want to tattoo for me, not for the money. I mean, it was never about the money. I mean, I like money, don't get me wrong, but it's not the only thing it's about, I think I did so good. Oh, thank you, sweetie. I appreciate it. With my career, I'm just to the point where I'm going to tattoo by appointment only because I love tattooing. I love it for me. I just don't want no artists working with me. I don't want to deal with some of these new kids and their dildo machines, I called them. And, Gary, I don't know what's wrong with your brain, bro, but you're a little twisted upstairs. But yeah, man. I got some brothers that I miss, and it's close to home, and I just want to go home, man. And plus, I mean, it'll be good for my son, and I'm just tired of being in this city. I'm not in this Charlotte, but I live in a still a lot bigger than where I'm from. called Stallings, North Carolina. The address is actually Matthews, but it's not in Matthews. I mean, you turn out on my main road, there's cattle fields and stuff, but
Well, that's very interesting.
I agree, Wendy, totally. I mean, I would like to sit back and paint more and stuff because I do a lot of oil paintings and stuff too, and just tattoo when I want to tattoo and raise my kid on the farm. He loves it there, man. Yeah.
Now, just out of curiosity, oh wait, what do we have here? Another comment. My sister lives in North Carolina, and the greatest barber I've ever visited was in North Carolina. He had some great stories, a real American patriot.
That's awesome.
I can believe that.
Yeah. Not you don't get that in Charlotte, not anymore. But parts of North Carolina is a wonderful state. I do love North Carolina. It's just but to buy a home in North Carolina, you're looking at minimum. I mean, for a 3-bedroom house, $400,000. Before I could buy that, I'm gonna go buy almost 400 acres. It's just not worth it to me. And I don't want to live here anyway. Nothing against North Carolinians or anything. It's just I'm just over it.
Yeah. All right, and then okay, that's what I just showed. So, do you happen to have any other business ventures besides tattooing?
Yeah, I own American Classic Beer Company.
Really?
I will do that. Then I'm thinking about maybe after I get that one going, maybe start another one. I got a brother that's got some hiccups coming, and maybe teach him and let him do that. Yeah, I tell you who else got a beautiful sky at night is Texas in certain parts of it. My mom lived in Seguin, and she lived on a lake called Lake Placid, like the movie. I was like, well, where's the giant daggone gator at? Um, but I mean, when I was riding my bike coming from New Braunfels to Seguin, I remember looking up and just seeing the most beautiful, it's daggone purples in the sky that you never see like here.
You know what they say. The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeah, New York City was cool. I've been there. I don't know, probably a dozen times. Wouldn't want to live there, but it's cool to
New York City.
it's cool to see. I mean, if not North Carolina, so if it's not North Carolina, and where? What's your question? Like the tattoo studios, or
I think he's just basically getting at where is better than North Carolina. And you were saying you're ready to move back to West Virginia.
I'm not saying all of West Virginia is better than North Carolina. A lot of it's a hellhole. It's just the part where I'm from I think is really nice, And there's lots of West Virginia is beautiful. Only parts I consider as a hellhole is from Charleston all the way up to Huntington, right there. But
I don't remember that stretch.
it's 64.
I've been through West Virginia, but I just remember once I got off the interstate, I'm following directions to go to a job site, and I keep seeing gravel roads going up. I didn't realize that was people's driveways. And
No true words have ever been spoken then right there. I agree with that 100%, Wendy.
Well, I beg to differ because I prefer to see the world with 18 wheels on the road or more.
Well, it's still cool, but you don't get
But
to
that's me.
this the same. I mean, I get it. I got respect for truckers, so I'm not gonna say anything bad. It's just different here on two wheels, you know.
Yeah.
But you'd never ridden before, so you never
Nope.
experienced that freedom, you know.
And it's a little too late with my vision.
Oh yes, brother. I know. Louisiana gets dark. Yeah, I rode from here straight to Seguin, Texas, and one night, and it was all, whew, it was dark. Uh, I'm going to come up with something to top that, Gary. I don't know. You're a finicky dude, so I might not top it for you, but um, you like bright scents. I'm glad you all love it. Thank you. That was a hard one to pull off because I'm not a sharp dressed guy, you know. I'm a jeans and a t-shirt and my boots, about it. Exactly, G. It's the best way to live, man. It's just, you know, yeah, I love it. But no, I
Yep.
just want to go back to tattooing in West Virginia. I'm going to open up an art gallery in West Virginia also. I love Louisiana. If it wasn't for the humidity, I'd live there, you know.
Yeah, the humidity is a bit much.
Oh my
That's why
gosh.
we're thinking about someplace a little more north of here with less humidity.
It's brutal, bro. I was in New Orleans and to go see a friend of mine and a tattoo artist. We stayed at his house. I just get out of the shower, go outside to smoke a cigarette. And at that time, and man, my gosh, I couldn't even finish it because I needed another shower. It was that bad. But you know, when I lived in Slidell when I was a kid, I don't remember it being that way. But I guess when you're younger, you could take it. You know?
Yeah, you can. Because, yeah, I can remember days where the temperature was 100 and it wasn't that bad. Now, temperature gets over 95. Ooh, it's too hot. I can't go outside.
Yeah, it's just the humidity. I don't mind the heat. It's just the humidity. A brother of mine, he said he likes riding out to Arizona. I've never ridden through Arizona, but I'm gonna do that one day with him.
Very dry, arid climate. There in Nevada, too. Las Vegas. It's 111 degrees outside and you don't realize it because you're not sweating. There's no humidity, so you don't sweat. And before you know it, you're sunburnt and dehydrated.
No doubt. Yeah, Wendy, I'm looking for that too. That's something I always wanted to do. I already got the property for it. I don't own it, but I know where I could get it. I already talked to him about it. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Is open up an art gallery as well. I'm not. I'm gonna have me and anybody that wants to do art. You know, just put it in there and sell it and make some money. You know, if it's advertised well, you could do it online and sell it. You know, have auctions on it, whatever. Have a reserve. Yeah, I wanted to do that too.
Oh, somebody's batteries are getting low.
Wow, I think mine is plugged in, unless I knocked it out. That was some security thing. I don't know what it was.
Gotcha. And I'm sorry, Wendy, I don't know what 89A means, but okay.
Oh, absolutely, brother. Let's go. That's where G's from. Um, he said it's
Yeah, but
just
he
too damn
lives
hot for
way
him.
up north there. G lives in southern Canada.
No, he was originally from Arizona.
Yeah, but not now that he's living in southern Canada. It doesn't count.
Well, see, with no humidity, I can handle the heat. It's just the humidity, man. I don't like being soaking wet.
Okay. It's a road in Arizona. Okay, I don't feel so stupid anymore. Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. So they'll be painting all around.
Yeah, yeah, brother of mine, he had a magazine. I'm gonna have him if he wants to do this gallery with me, and that way him and his family could make some good cash, and he's a great photographer.
Thanks for joining us, E. Glad you could
What's
make
up,
it.
dude?
And of course, Mrs. Bayou wants a Sedona ride. She's always wanted to go to Sedona. So one of these days, I'm going to try to take her.
It's not the same if it ain't on two wheels.
Ah, well, I will never know, unfortunately. But it's okay.
You never know. You never know.
Well, my friends, we're getting close to the 1 hour mark, and that's typically how long Dagan and I do it for. So I guess we're going to start wrapping it up and winding it up.
Only an hour. You guys are older than me, man. So, well, no, actually, I'm not far behind Dagan. He's what? He just turned 50.
Yep, he did. But, some folks, their attention span's a little short. Somebody like me, my attention span's real short. And an hour, I just can't sit still long enough.
All right, brother. That's exactly what I say, Wendy.
Yep, Wendy says never say never. Now a trike we could do. Well, I don't know about all that, but yeah.
Why not? If you don't want to learn to ride,
It's not about that. It's about my vision.
I
I'm
know
legally blind, man.
I know that. I was talking about teaching your wife to ride you around, man.
Oh, we could do that.
You might look funny, but who cares? Nobody don't know your medical condition. Just wave and smile.
Exactly. I'll give him my best queen wave. Well, all right, folks. We're winding up to that. We're at the 1 hour mark, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I know this wasn't necessarily the routine, but I want to thank Dagan, of course, for steering people over here. I want to thank you, my guest, Shade, for joining and filling us with some interesting, fascinating things. And you got anything to say before we part?
I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate Roadhawk and Wendy and G and everybody that showed up tonight. And I appreciate you having me on, brother.
It's my pleasure. And just remember my message for the week, as always, be kind to each other. You never know the war the person next to you is fighting in their head, and they'll never say a word. Smile, a kind word, a hello. That's all it takes. Be nice and have a super, super great week. And I will see you next week on Dagan's channel and possibly other places during